Welcome to As Above.
So below,
I am Kisha Lee, the Psychic Yogi.
and I am Cidnee Rich, and this is Astro Reiki for Leo season. So if you're joining us on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video if you're enjoying it. We will be talking about the vibes for Leo season, as well as a tarot message for the collective, an energy read, and of course, an Astro Reiki meditation. So stick around for that. The timestamps are below. Let's get into the vibes. All right, it's Leo season, and yes, we've been in it already almost 2 weeks. So you definitely are feeling what this energy is bringing. And it's interesting because there is a retrograde energy that's happening too. So it's kind of weird because usually this fiery kind of like super out there Leo energy like takes full force, but you might have felt yourself feeling a little kind of pulled in or maybe even a little tired, and therefore that solar plexus energy like might feel a little like tugged on because it is retrograde season. So you might not be feeling as like ferocious as the lion, but maybe you're feeling more like the cub, right? The little lion cub. Like, yeah, I got a little fight in me, but I still need I need to be a little safe. You know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of feels what it feels like to me. It feels like good, but it doesn't feel big. It doesn't feel bold like it has typically. So I think that the retrogrades are definitely kind of pulling that energy more inward. So we're finding our own like internal fight or our own internal courage that really is coming from our heart. So Leo energy does rule the heart. And as we kind of moved out of Cancer season, that heart energy definitely got activated. The emotions were definitely like, flowing. I feel like as we flowed, drifted into Leo. It's Mercury retrograde as well in Leo, so there's that with my Leo rising. So I've already messed up my words multiple times, so here we are. Anywho, as we went from Cancer season to Leo, our emotions were like activated. And now we're supposed to like act from those, but we're not necessarily feeling that like externalized strength to do so. And I feel like it's much more of like an internal working that's happening, or internal kind of perseverance where it's like, okay, I can feel the things coming in, but I still need to make sure that like my heart, my soul, my inner like fire is ready. I feel like we're getting ready. So as we go into Virgo season, where we go into the change, right, of things, we can start to see harvest more of that kind of internal work externally, or start to see those results come up, especially as we get into the eclipse season. So that this Leo energy definitely feels a little bit more like a lion cub than the big old maned masculine energy that we're typically used to. But I am super excited to see like how the portal energy as we get in next week and the full moon in Aquarius, how that starts to kind of bring us out of that kind of cub energy and into that more full grown lion, because I do think that's going to be a like a before and after energy. It feels like that. It feels very much so like, okay, um, what is it? BC and AD vibes. With this August. August to me in general, I think is going to be what we've all been waiting for to feel in 2025. It's taken this long, like to get here. And it's on the precipice of that Virgo season. And I think that's connected to the Hermit, which is the year that we're in, this 9 year. I think that's like, okay, like, yeah, it wasn't going to hit until later. and we're already 3/4 way of the year, so it feels like, okay, like did I do something wrong? But no, in our hearts, right, with Leo energy, like, no, we know we're not doing something wrong. We know that we're following our truth and what we feel, what makes us feel joy, because Leo rules the fifth house, and it's the house of pleasure, fun, creativity, and our life force energy is our creative energy. So all this work that we've been putting in to our business endeavors, creative projects, relationships, I do think we're going to start to see that spark once we get to the full moon in Aquarius. So, I always love talking about those 6 months. And so that brings us all the way back to the beginning of the year when we thought, okay, things are going to be popping. And it was like, no, no, no pop. Okay. Um, so now I think that we're going to start to see that energy come full circle. So that's exciting. Bless. That's really all I got that's coming through. The sun is such a cool ruling luminary, I think, because, Kisha spoke about it in one of our Cosmic Chat and Chills. It's the quickest cyclic energy that we know. It's 24 hours. And within that 24 hours, it's also within that astrological season. So it's such a powerful energy that is so I think kind of like forgotten. It's like, oh, because we're so used to it, we kind of take it for granted. And just like the moon, like both the luminaries, we kind of take them for granted because they're so quick with their cycles, and we're so like not paying attention that it's like, no, those energies that are so um comfortable for us and so safe, right? They make us feel safe. I remember, and this is definitely an aside, but I was on a plant medicine journey and I could not wait to see the sun. I literally was like, when is the sun coming up? And that energy and that feeling I felt is like the sun is our life force energy straight up. Like it gives us life. So with Leo season, even if, the first half feels a little bit more internal, we might have needed to be tending to the life within us so that we can step more, full body into the world that is being created in a new way every single day. And we may not notice it, just like we don't notice these luminaries doing their thing, but the world every single day is shifting and changing and evolving. So I think like with the sun and the moon being back to back with Cancer and Leo season, it helps us remember like even those really small changes that we make, they're the ones that keep us on track for the really big moments that happen um on our journey too. So let's see what the collective message is for Leo season. Woo! That's so funny. Temperance. Temperance. So that's that patience. That's that 6 month cycle I was chatting about, that divine timing, that idea of it being right. Temperance talks about integration, and that is the name of the game. And when we talk about, okay, we were in Aquarius season and we were like, yeah, all these things are going to happen. They don't happen immediately because things need to happen within ourselves, externally. Like we have to do something. They're not just gonna happen. And so that's what we've been doing. We've been doing something. We've been doing the work. And this Leo season, I think, is showing us with the Ten of Wands here, we're done with the work to this point, right? The work's never done, but to this point, this is the heavy, the burden, the stress, the like that feeling over these 6 months of like, okay, well, when is something gonna break? When is something gonna move? that's what's coming to an end here. I definitely feel with the full moon that we're going to have, and there's a full moon on the card that we're going to have next week. So that 10 of Wands, tens is the dead end in tarot. And so we're ending this stress. We're ending the pressure, the burden, the sense that we're just being so diligent and nothing's happening, because now the timing is right for us to understand that we had to do these things first in order to get this thing created. Leo energy, right? And then we have the Queen of Cups, creation energy right here. This one has a full moon on it too. So we're working with the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy here in a way that's truly bringing this healing to ourselves, to our body, to our mind, to our soul. And that's where changes can really happen. And that's where change does happen. And so going back to Leo ruling the fifth house, the fives are about change. And now I feel like we're stepping more fully into that change. And as we do so, all we have to do is sit back and receive it. You know, sit back and say, okay, I did that work. I did it. And the only thing stopping us is the Nine of Swords, you know, the anxiety, the mental aspect, the mental component, the when, the how, the that we don't know, but we know that it's near because we have 10 of Wands here. So we're at the end of the stress. We're at the end of the hardship. We're at the end of the pressure. Beautiful. All right.
Well, that explains a lot about how I've been feeling this week. Because the other day I was like, I was like very excited about something. Like I could feel it in my gut, like in my solar plexus, which is normally where you would also hold anxiety, right? So I look at anxiety and excitement like two sides of the same coin, basically. But it was interesting because I was like, man, I was like, I feel really excited about something, but what is it? What am I excited about? And it lasted with me all day. And I realized I was like, oh, it's almost kind of like my soul or my heart knows something, but like the conscious mind, the mental part hasn't quite caught up yet, or my reality hasn't quite caught up, you know. But there's something like my heart and soul, very Leo energy, knows that there's something on the horizon, right? And it's kind of cool that you mentioned the energy right now is not like the big, you know, loud, um, you know, Mufasa type of energy of Leo season. It's very much like Simba. Simba as a little cub, and when he's like trying to roar, he's like, ah, and it's like, but I guess coming off of Cancer season, that would make sense, right? That softness, that motherly type energy. And then even this week in the goddess guidance, it was like, you know, coming into like your heart space. What is it that your heart truly desires? And so I think it's kind of cool to go from Cancer season to Leo. Both are very nurturing, both are very heart centered energy. And then we go into Virgo, which is going to be like, okay, now how can I gain more awareness of my emotions, right? What have I learned from them? How can I maybe put a different spin or perspective on them? How can I master them? Which emotions have been just kind of toiling and, you know, building up that need some sort of resolution, so that we can clear our heart space, so we can clear the things that like have been disempowering us, you know, so we can step forward with more mental clarity, but also emotional clarity, things that really bring us like fulfillment, things that we value. Because I know that Leo it rules the sun, right? Or is ruled by the sun, which is also our solar plexus. So, did I freeze? Oh, okay. Well, I looked like I froze, so I don't know what happened. But, anyways,
Yeah.
but yeah, so it rules the solar plexus, and that would make sense where that energy. Did I freeze again?
Yeah. I don't know if it's a I don't know what
It's
it's called.
retrograde.
It's totally retrograde because now you're back in all your glory.
I don't know what that was about, but
Yeah.
okay. Um, oh, that's weird. Anyways, so yeah, but it rules the solar plexus, so that's like our power struggle, right? Or where we disperse our energy, also the energy that we call back to ourselves. And then it also rules the crown because you have to think like the royalty type energy. And so that's like your higher self, right? What your higher consciousness. So it's still mental, but it's elevated. And so it's about like bringing a higher awareness to what emotional processes are happening during this season so that you can, speak it or say it with your chest, but with confidence, with certainty, with clarity, with a groundedness, right, in your authenticity and like who you really are and what do you really want. So yeah, so I think this is kind of a cool energy. I didn't think about how the retrograde can like kind of subdue some of that rawr. So that makes sense why it's got a softer energy. But I know a lot of people are talking about August being that kind of like breakthrough point. And it's something else that I realized too was that it seems like in the collective there are people who are like veiled right now, you know, people who are covering themselves or they're veiled and they don't want to be seen. And then there's this energy of like, I don't know, it's like a paradox in a way because then there's people who are like taking the veils off, allowing themselves to be seen. So it's kind of interesting when I look at society and social media, the veils that are being lifted, the people that are coming to the forefront or allowing themselves to be seen, taking that step of courage, putting their creativity, their work out there, things like that. And then there's others who are like veiling themselves while they go inwards and either, do some introspection or healing, or there's could be a lot of reasons why you want to kind of got what do you call it, cover yourself. But yeah, it's just kind of something that I noticed too when it comes down to that visibility of like Leo's supposed to be front and center stage. It's like, sometimes you can be the star of the show from behind the curtain, I guess, behind the veil.
That's interesting because, and I just wanted to add to that because you're so right. But I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it is opposing Pluto in Aquarius.
Oh,
So it's a little bit of a trade-off, like you were saying. Like there's a that it's like a trade-off. Like the people that were maybe so front and center or thought that they were okay in this energy, realizing like, oh, I actually need to come into this more like veiled space, and then other energy that has been in that veiled space feel it's like you're trading spaces, like literally. And we talked about that with what was going to happen with Pluto going into Aquarius. It
yep,
was going to be that underdog energy coming up. So that's exactly what you're seeing. So now, and it's weird, and the energy is more like a Simba energy because the underdog isn't naturally a Mufasa or a Scar, right? Like it's more of a like, you guys, you want to hear from me? We what's going on? So it's like it's a different energy. It's more of an Aquarius type of energy. It's more like, hey, everybody come with me. Like come with. And so I think that's kind of what you're picking up on too, which I think is really cool.
makes sense. Yeah, I'm glad you could break that down because I was like, I don't know why that just came to me. It seems like there's people who are veiled and then others who are unveiling. So it's like, huh. I didn't think about Pluto and Aquarius. Um, so that would make sense. Cool. Alrighty. So with that being said, hopefully my computer does not freeze again during this, but if so, we're just going to keep flowing with it. So go ahead and take just a moment to center yourself, allowing yourself to just arrive in this moment and setting everything else aside, allowing your gaze to soften, perhaps gently closing your eyes. Not changing anything, just noticing the breath. Allowing each inhale to rise up into the crown. And as you exhale, dropping down into the body. Inhale, allowing your crown to open, to expand. And as you exhale, just allowing yourself to deepen the breath. Giving yourself permission to root down deep into the earth. Giving yourself permission to release thoughts, feelings, sensations. Creating some space for yourself to allow your awareness to expand to the far edges of the room. Just noticing what is here for you in this moment. Noticing your thoughts, but allowing them to shift down into the heart space, down into the belly, continuing to ride the breath in and out. Just noticing what may come to you, your current desires, yearnings, intentions. Notice where you may feel emotionally unsettled. Maybe there's chapters that need to close, cycles that are completed, ready to be released. Maybe there are parts of you still seeking resolution, closure, acknowledgement, comfort, understanding. But know that the clarity will come. You allow the breath to guide you, usher you in deeper into your emotions. Would you describe the quality of your thoughts, your feelings? Noticing any push-pull dynamics are ready to be released. Giving yourself permission to focus on what is within the heart space. Just calling your soul to elevate. It's being shown to you, illuminated. How can the light of your heart show you the way, the next step? Oftentimes we experience life through the mental, past, future, flowing through the mind multiple times throughout the day. But how often you stop, notice, and observe the breath, connect with your true desires, feels right within your heart and soul, feels good and pleasurable, expansive, creative. You've been suppressing, just trying to be expressed through you. Just wanting to be created through you. Bring you emotional fulfillment in this season. What needs to burn away. Transformative energy and element of fire in order to create space, dreams, pleasures, desires, endeavors to come into fruition, come into fullness, fullest expression of yourself showing up, unveiled, taking center stage, comfortable in the light. Everything that no longer serves this higher timeline, this elevation, shift, is coming up, coming out, illuminated, and burned away. Take in sovereignty, agency, in your choices, in the direction that you are creating momentum towards, building passion, pleasure, purpose, all aligned with this new timeline. Give yourself full permission to express your truth, to radiate your light, call back your power, walk with your crown held high. Each step intentional, purposeful. The heart and the mind, body, soul, all in coherence. Feel this integration. Spiritual body, mental body, emotional body, physical body, all aligned to one. You radiate your wholeness, creativity, your soul expression, quiet confidence, courage, bravery, and trust in yourself. You have what it takes, and you will figure each step out along the way. To give yourself permission to shine bright. Truth to be illuminated. Glow from the inside out. So take a deep inhale through the nose, allowing it to come up, crown. Just taking a moment to pretend you can activate this crown upon your head. Maybe you notice you feel more regal, you sit up a little straighter, a little taller, shoulders roll back, jaws relax. Belly feels strong, stable, activated. Exhale down into the body. Feeling the dynamic presence that you are, activated, present, grounded. On the next breath, placing one hand on the heart space, the other on the solar plexus. Back. Feeling the chest rise and fall, the belly expand and contract. Remembering that you too are part of this cyclical nature. You too have your seasons, your own rhythm. This is what makes you unique. Honoring this makes you authentic. All of your energy has been restored. All that supports you is here now. So, some love and adoration, feeling that tenderness in the heart and the belly. Give yourself flowers for how far you've come. Celebrating yourself, your victories, your triumphs. Whenever you feel ready and complete, give yourself a hug or a little massage, taking a nice little stretch, wiggling your toes, fingers, and gently opening the eyes. You're ready. I love Astro Reiki. It's just just the chillest vibe. And you can feel it, like it's tangible. I know I just came from a massage, so I'm like super, super chill right now. But man, this is one of my favorite things that we do. that we
It's the
offer.
bee's knees. It really is. And I always feel so good. And this one makes me feel really good. I'm so emotional, even though I'm not crying, but I feel so much emotion because I'm just like, wow, this feels a little surreal.
I've noticed I would say I've been not emotional, like not crying or anything like that, but just like you said, of just noticing, you know, emotions and kind of having this little bit of a detachment to them, just kind of observing and then like,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's acceptance, I guess. I don't know. It's been interesting. So let's see how that feels.
Yeah.
How
Detachment. Very Aquarius.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that that's like maybe part of the goal to get what you desire, right? Is
Yeah,
to be
that's what they say.
detached from it.
True.
It's weird.
Because ruminating is gonna drive you crazy. So yeah, that's kind of what has been helping me is like just acceptance, like accepting whatever I feel is good or whatever I feel is crappy or just whatever, just like accepting it. And I notice that that gives me um, groundedness and takes me out of the headspace and like helps me to just acknowledge what I'm feeling, but having that detached energy to it, that detachment of like, okay, yep, that's what that is. So now what? It's like, well,
I think that's interesting. I think that
it
I'm
feels
like,
very freeing.
I'm yes. And I'm kind of like, that's why I feel like I'm kind of freaking out, but like I'm not. But I am because I'm like, what? Oh, that is it. When like detachment is neutrality, and neutrality is balanced energy. And balanced energy is what the universe is always trying to get us to do. But we're always operating out of balance because there's some type of weird pull that's happening. And then we're wondering why we're not manifesting.
Yeah. Sometimes we're just too in our head about it. And it's like, okay, universe is like, well, do you want this or not? Because you keep putting in this order, but then want to tweak it every 5 minutes, so just let it go. Put the intention out there, the idea out there, whatever it is, put it out there. And then just like what I like to do is visualize it, go figure, in a gold ball of light, with all the visuals, textures, the tension, the words, everything. And then just kind of gauge, emotionally, like, where am I? Where do I feel like I allow myself to really have this, like 100%, and if it feels like I'm resistant or there's a block, I just kind of sit and breathe through that, allowing it to like soften and kind of neutralize, and then I'll take that gold ball of light that holds my intention and like send it off into the universe, like kind of like a balloon, when it's loose and it just starts to go up, up, up and away. It's kind of that type of feeling of manifesting and helping to visualize that detachment. Like, well, I put it out there.
That's very Libra of you. And for me, it's very in my body. It's like my body is now not worried. I don't feel the fear. I don't feel it in my body. And that goes back to the scales, right? The temperance scales. It's the same concept. So the mental and then like the emotional. Like for me, I feel that's why it feels weird. I feel like I'm good. Everything's like I'm chilling.
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel. I feel like I'm chilling instead of like I'm not worried. It's so
Yeah. I think that's what hit me the other day when I was like, I feel excited, but this feels interesting. Like I just be walking around just smiling, just
because it's like an
I'm like, I
excitement.
don't know what's happening. Like, not that I'm not normally a happy-go-lucky type of person, but it's just like this joy, this calmness at the same
Yes.
time, and this like soft confidence, and that elation, it was one of the words that I used not too long ago. It was like, this is very interesting to feel so grounded and like, but not like waiting for the other shoe to drop. You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
It's like I feel
I
calm
I
and not
do.
just here, but in here.
Yes. I know. Yes, Keish.
It's like about damn time I did the work. Whew. I'm like,
Literally,
shit,
it's so
it finally
cool.
worked.
It's like so not the feeling you thought it would be,
Right.
right?
Things are just aligning, falling into place. And if things like, go a different way, it's just kind of, it's like, I don't, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
it's not a disregard or a denial type of energy,
Mhm.
it's not like punk faking myself into like, oh, I don't care. It's just like, it's
Right.
very just like,
Neutral.
yeah, just very neutral, very just
Yeah.
detached, but very whole at the same time. It's
Yes.
detached from the outcome or
Outcome.
detached from the external, but very whole and connected within. So it's like, oh, okay, this is soul embodiment. I like this. This is
Yes.
different.
Yeah.
It's a little different. I always knew that, it's like you intellectualize it. Like I always knew this feeling, but I don't think my body had got the memo yet. Now the body's caught up, like, cool. So everything is
Exactly.
like succinct and coherent. Like they're all,
It's
you know,
coherence. It literally is coherence. It
yeah.
is. It's coherence. And that's amazing. On our 5th anniversary of Arcana, Keisha and I are in coherence, which is very cool. So, with that, we hope to continue to show you guys the path to that coherence in your life. And because it is achievable. And yeah, so we're going to go do some personal readings. If you are into that, you can follow our or join our Patreon and you can get a personal reading too. Until next time, adios.